Fáilte, from our city by the sea. Stories of whalers, surfers and sailors whisper for a century from the bars and tavern walls in our seaside slice of heaven. So how did this wandering Irish lass land on these shores, to be welcomed in so many hearts, I hear you ask? They say it takes a village to raise a child. I have a whole barrier island and 3,000 miles of ocean filled with smiles, hugs and support. This is the year I get to thank you all. Welcome back, everybody. So I have made some changes to Long Beach 101 since we last had a conversation. It's more or less going to be about my life and the people that I meet on my way, on my journey. I am very proud to be an immigrant to this country. I'm Irish. I live a lovely life. I live on the South Shore and I'm grateful for every minute I get on this planet. So tonight I have two very special guests on my show. I have Ryan Puglisi and I have The Wanderer. And I'm really glad to have them here because not only are they personal friends of mine and we have a lot in common, but they also have their own podcast. And their own podcast is called Kings of Opinion. Kings of Opinion is filmed on Monday in Ryan's living room for now, but that might change, okay? Because now he's at Floored Media and Wanderer too, and they're absolutely loving it. So let's start off with the first question. How do you feel about having your own podcast?
Honestly, it's been a lot of fun. It's a way for people to come together and just talk about whatever they want. Like, that's why we named it Kings of Opinion. Like, it's very, very little facts in that entire story, in the entire show. And we kind of like it that way. And I just get all our friends together, different people on different weeks, and we just literally talk about whatever we want. We do happen to talk a lot about sports, but that's basically just what we know.
So I actually got invited onto your guys' podcast, and I have a little admission to make is I know next to nothing about sports. And yeah, I'm able to, not that we're cursing on my own show, but BS my way through baseball and football and lacrosse and hockey. But I'm really glad that we're actually able to come and, you know, have lines in common with each other without, you know, me telling you rules of baseball that I actually don't know.
Well, listen, it's okay. You don't have to know sports. I'm actually shocked that you don't know any sports with your career, you know, being in the business of being a bartender and working for Memories, right?
I have the absolute honor of working for my boss, Joe Pereira. Hello, Joe, and hello, everybody in Memories.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
He is the nicest boss and owns the best bar in Nassau County. It's called Memories. It's on Williston Park. Come and see me. And
on Hillside Avenue, right?
It's on Hillside Avenue. Really good food, really good bartenders. Hello, Maria and Kathy and Christina and Steph. So yes, I'm really glad that we mentioned that in the podcast.
Well, we also want to say hi to everybody in Memory Land. So hello, everyone out there.
They go there too. They go there too.
We've been there a few times. We've seen Ashley there a few times. It's a good place. And they always have live music there, I think, on the weekends, yes. Especially in the summertime, right?
Friday, Saturday nights, we have like the best bands playing in Long Island. The food is delicious. We have like a wonderful mix between Portuguese food. We have regular like Irish American food. It's just a really blessed place to be. So show up and have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love good food and music and drinks?
And I tell the same jokes all weekend and kind of like that a lot. So it's good.
You know what? It's not a bad thing to do what you do all the time. You get to meet a lot of interesting people, I'm sure.
Being a bartender at 43, I never envisioned my life being a bartender at 43. I was like, oh God, I'll be married. I'll have this stellar career. And then I look back and I'm like, I make my own schedule. I'm a great mom to my little girl. I'm able to pay my bills and a little bit extra every once in a while. But, you know, I meet people every day. Everyone's got a new story. Everybody wants to hear your story. And I feel very blessed that I'm able to be a bartender at 43. And I know the people who are watching the YouTube channel from Ireland, everybody wants to know about your life as a bartender in New York City. And that's my life. So
it's great.
Thank you.
Nothing wrong with
wonderful.
it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you.
So we where did we first meet? It wasn't at Memories. You were in a couple different places when we first met you.
Excuse me, you don't remember the first moment we all met?
I want to say, well, listen, to be fair, you jumped around from Long Beach to to New Hyde Park a little bit. I don't remember if it was the brew house. I'm pretty sure it was, but I'm just trying to gather my thoughts onto exactly where it was. But
I think it was the brew house.
Yeah, it was the brew house.
It was the brew house.
Okay,
yeah,
good. So
totally
I got that question right out of the way. Correct. So
yeah. I gave you a drink after your hard day at Home Depot, so that's how it went. Yeah.
I didn't know if I had enough time.
The rest is history.
You got to sell those buckets, right? You have to totally sell those buckets.
Listen, there's a lot of buckets to be sold out there. Okay, without going too much into my career of the Home Depot, but. It's a good place when you need lumber and all these other kind of tools and things you need for your house.
I wouldn't know. I'm not going there for any amount of money. Yeah, no.
I bet Floor Media used Home Depot a lot.
Or if you need some help off the books.
Right.
Yeah, and Jay's a big Home Depot guy, right?
Has to be.
Yeah, totally.
Has to be.
I know you got that door right there from Home Depot.
Someone had to turn this into a really nice studio. This is a little intimidating coming into a place like this, from going from a living room with a couch and a TV to
definitely a bit of envy.
Right, 8 cameras. Sure.
You know what? You had craft beer in your podcast, and I think we all did okay with your, beverage selection, if anything.
Yeah, it's not like here. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. We're very happy to be here, right?
Yeah.
So I think one thing. To come back. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Wander. Yeah. So one of the things that we all have in common is, believe it or not, we're all the same age. I try to look younger whenever I can, but we're millennials, and I live in Island Park.
The oldest millennials.
That makes me feel great. Thanks, Wander.
Well. Listen,
I am. I just meant speaking for myself.
You better be speaking for yourself. We're all millennials, and we all more or less live in Long Island. I do in the South Shore. You guys live upshore. Where do you guys live?
I guess north. You'll say.
I use GPS for everything, so I know how to GPS to your homes, but I actually don't know where you live. So it's not my fault. I'm not from around here.
No, it's okay. It's totally fine.
But, one of the things as a millennial and, growing up or being from Long Island as a millennial is, we could complain about a lot of stuff, but I'm grateful for a lot. I know that we have so many wonderful things in Long Island. We have all these wonderful places to eat. We have all these fantastic recreational activities that we do. And then the other option that we have to deal with is the traffic issue, which, please tell me your traffic story, because I will be enthralled.
Had a few rants about that.
Yeah, I absolutely hate New York City because of the traffic. And nothing more. There's way too many people on the road now, and maybe it was COVID. We've talked about this weeks and weeks ago, but it just seems to get worse everywhere. And maybe Long Island is feeling it now because everyone's moving out of the city. And they're going from the city to upstate and Long Island, and now there's more congestion out there as well. So you're feeling now what we probably felt for the last 5 or 10 years, and the city just doesn't seem, no matter how many people move out, the city is just ridiculous. Whether it's construction, 1,000 cabs, buses, you name it, everything's in the city. So much so that I can't wait to be done working to not ever drive again. I want to drive a golf cart around my little community. That's what I want to do.
Get a smart car.
Right. No, not even that. Just a golf cart, a gallon of gas, drive around the neighborhood. That's my driving.
A golf cart's probably going to be $30,000 by the time you retire by that.
Probably. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. But I'll buy a used one. I don't care.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. On the weekend, I don't like using my car at all, just because I know if there's a possibility of traffic, or congestion or too many people, I don't want to be around it. I want to be able to avoid that.
It's actually very interesting that you said that, because I am from Ireland, as you all have heard 100 times before. But when I grew up in Ireland during the 80s, on Sunday afternoons, we went for a spin in the car, right?
Right.
No one else, only Irish people, knows what a spin in the car is.
Sunday drive, I guess.
That's literally when my mom and dad were finished doing their job and they had a carpet and curtain business, Callan's Carpets and Curtain Centre. So we would get in the car and we would go for a spin. So there was no selected destination. You would go to your aunt's house, to your uncle's house. You would see a wall that apparently had fairies in it, whatever it was. And it's I try to explain this to people from America and they usually think I'm out of my mind. And that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now I live in Long Island and I'm if I don't have to go from Island Park to Rockville Centre without it being completely necessary. And I mean, like facing semi-starvation, I am not leaving my house. I don't want to be in my car. So there you go.
You know what? I think it's like our age group that did that, because I remember going on trips on Sundays to nowhere, literally nowhere. But now you'll never catch me drive with no purpose. If I have to drive, it's to some location for whatever, like you said, food or, you know, I don't know, gas, whatever it is, work. Otherwise, I'm not driving.
Yeah, for me, unless I'm going to a concert, I'm not driving on the weekend. But it's funny, though, too, because what got me through COVID was being able to go for a drive. So that's kind of like, you know, ironic, I guess.
A little bit.
Because, like, that was all you could do. Like, that was the only thing I could do to get out of my house besides, walk, I guess. But I do that a lot now.
That's really cool that we're actually talking about COVID, because I feel like now that it's over, hopefully, you know, everyone just chooses not to recall it because it's probably easier for you as a human being not to discuss it anymore.
Change, yeah.
I recall it well because there was never any traffic on the road.
Yeah, that's what I recall.
It was awesome. Like you would literally get to wherever you were going in 10 minutes.
Yeah. It was
Doesn't matter where you were going. If you were going to the city, 20 minutes.
Sure.
It's amazing.
So during COVID, I'm a single mom, as we all know. And I was like, I got to find a way to make money. I got to like do something. And I find most people were really creative during COVID.
Yeah.
So what I did to be creative during COVID was I sold shepherd's pie.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really, I make a really good shepherd's pie.
I'll have to try.
We've had it, I think. Didn't you bring it into, I think you brought it into like Memories or wherever you were working at that time. It probably wasn't Memories. Was it? I can't remember.
I think it was Brewhouse. I brought it in for you.
Yeah.
I will not reveal my secrets. I don't care who's watching this show from wherever you are in the world. I have a secret ingredient and you're not finding out about it. But I made money during COVID selling shepherd's pie by the half a tray. And one day, people were concerned about having tuna fish, toilet paper, cleaning supplies, I made $250 selling my shepherd's pie.
Excellent.
So the real question is how much do we have to pay for a half tray now?
Just for curious. You could just give me $80. It's fine. Oof.
That better be good, damn good shepherd's pie, I'll tell you that. No, but for one I remember, it was delicious. And I remember that you made a vegetable one for Amish, one of our friends.
Yes, we have to mention Amish because he's our favorite person, and I made him a vegetarian shepherd's pie, which he really, really liked.
Yeah.
What do you put in there? Tofu?
It's also a secret. Be careful.
Lentils and tofu. Okay. I'll tell him. And mashed spuds, you know, and a lot of hot sauce. He likes things when they're really hot.
Yeah, he does. So we went through all this stuff with the COVID and the traffic. When it was COVID, were you, since you live out in Long Beach, were you going to the beach often?
Yes.
Is that a thing, like one of the things you did out here? Because, you know, where we live, there's no beach. There's barely a pool. So
I feel very blessed.
Or two pools.
If you call it a pool. But anyway,
what's wrong with your pool?
It's a public city pool. That's all I need to tell you. Okay?
So yes,
if you grew up in the city, anyone listening, if you grew up in the city, you know what that means. I don't have to say anything more than that.
So yes, I went to the beach. I feel very blessed that I went through COVID being at the beach. You know, was there social distancing at the beach? Was there, you know, mask wearing at the beach? Yes, there was. But me and my daughter were just so blessed to be there. We ate our tuna fish, pasta, and mayonnaise and Parmesan cheese salad. And we were just so happy at the beach. Yes.
Wow.
That's my extent of my Italian food, just so you know.
We're going to have to bring you to a nice Italian restaurant one of these days, or some home-cooked Italian meal. Our friend Ernie over there knows how to cook a little bit of Italian.
Ernie, woo!
Yeah.
Fact finder Ernie.
Yeah. So he's like our producer. He's like our Florida media.
The man behind the curtain.
Yep.
I actually have a curveball for Ernie, and I didn't tell him about this question on purpose because I wanted him to be like a little bit frazzled because that would make me happy.
See if he's rattled.
Oof. But the last time that I spoke to Pugs and the last time I spoke to Wanderer, it was actually Shark Week. And that was a while ago now. And just to recap from the summer, there was a shark attack in Rockaway Beach, which the poor woman, like, she's permanently disabled after the shark attack. Yeah. So now we're going to get Ernie on the fly. When was the last shark attack in Rockaway Beach?
Oh boy! So
Don't complain.
while he's looking that up, though, did you know that the female that got bit, she lost like 20 pounds of.
That's crazy.
Of, like, I don't know what you want to call it, meat, flesh, I guess. I would call it meat, but for the shark it was meat. But it was bad, but it's happening a lot more now. And I mean, I'm not a scientist or a marine biologist by any means, but you know, I guess you'd have to assume that the climate changes, the warmer water, they're coming in more, they're a little bit more daring, and you know, this is not the Bahamas or the Caribbean where it's super clear water. You could see these sharks coming from 5, 10, 15, 20 feet away, even underwater. Here it's murky, dirty New York City water.
There's nothing to eat out there.
They don't know what that is. They just bump into it, they take a bite, and they keep it moving, and that's it.
Nothing personal.
Yeah.
Wanderer, why do you think that there's been shark attacks? Like, why all of a sudden is there whales washing up on the beach?
It seems
why
to
is there
be
shark
like
attacks?
wildlife has been getting displaced, or it just seems like not a lot of good things are going on in general, but it seems like for marine life, it's showing up in places that it wasn't before, and I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's a huge concern. Like, everyone's laughing. Oh, it's really funny. The sharks are eating all the cocaine off Miami. We've all heard that. But, like, why is this happening all of a sudden?
That was actually a show on Shark Week. I don't know if that's why you brought it up, but it was cocaine sharks, and they did tests of like fake cocaine, see what they would go to. Like, would you go for the fish or the kilo of cocaine? And obviously they went for the kilo of cocaine, but.
Well, at least they're doing something with all the straws that wash up in the. Sorry, was that being? Okay, so let's move on. Ernie, tell us more about your fact finding.
2017.
What?
So the last time I guess a shark was in East Rockaway is 2017, huh?
No, Rockaway Beach. East
Rockaway? Okay, so 2017. There you go.
40 stitches.
Wow.
40 stitches. Oof.
Yeah, that's a bit of time. Yeah.
A baby great white. Wow.
Oh wow. Oof. Wow.
Good thing it wasn't
a big great white.
Even an adolescent.
Yeah. No, it'd be much worse for sure.
So we just covered things that are changing in our Long Island area. So I am not from Long Island, as I've told you before. And I would like to ask both of you who have grown up in this area, what is the biggest changes that you have seen since we became the ripe old age of 30-something?
The change? That's a tough one. There's so many to pull from. We already talked about the traffic, the people, culture has changed, like political, demographic, everything. That people are just coming from everywhere and moving into all these different communities. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just it's more populated every little town that we grew up in. Like I grew up in Floral Park. And Floral Park now looks totally different than it did when I was growing up, 30 years ago. But it's because...
you're from Queens.
Yeah, well,
Floral Park's Queens, right?
Yeah, it's like a half and half.
It's like Bayside. It's like it doesn't really belong to either one.
Yeah, there's half of Floral Park in Queens, which is where I was, and the other half is in Nassau.
Was legit.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
just checking.
Yeah, but barely.
Thank you, Wanderer.
We're talking a few blocks, But I originally grew up in Astoria, and the first 5 or 6 years of my life, I was in Astoria in like a 2-family house, right? So everything was close. Like you walk down the block, you go see, the barber, you got the deli over there, you got the church right around the corner too. And you don't stray out of like a 2-3 block area because everything's right there. Now with Floral Park, it's similar depending on where you're living, but if you're deep into Queens, like it's so much more spread out. Where I live now, for example, is Belrose. It's the next town up. And it's quiet there. There's plenty of room to park.
It's really beautiful.
It's quiet, which is all you need. It's right off the Grand Central. It's right there. So you would think it'd be noisy and all that, but it's quiet. So, people moving all out of all these different areas and moving into new locations probably has a lot to do with the difference in, like, I guess the areas that you live in now from back then to now.
Yeah.
Yeah. For myself, I've lived on Long Island since I was 3. Traffic for sure. It's everywhere. So it's something that's on the mind.
Traffic is like a trigger word for me nowadays. Like I want to flip out soon.
But the other thing that I was going to mention is, unless one thing that I can think of significantly is, unless like you're outgoing, like the sense of community is not what it used to be, and I think the pandemic had something to do with that as well. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, more, I guess, people got used to being isolated more, so maybe they just like stick to themselves and their immediate family. I don't know. I'm just like rambling, I guess.
No, you're not rambling, because actually you're just bringing me back to the point that we made sure that we were going to discuss delicately before the podcast. Was the Gilgo Beach killer has now been arrested and is in custody, and it was like surreal watching the television the last like that happened. It was like, living in Long Island, it's just always hanging over your head that actually happened. It wasn't one person, God forbid, it was one person. It's multiple.
Yeah.
This guy.
How far does the web go,
It's like, did I see a sense of relief that he was caught? Yes. Did I think he probably was dead, the killer? Yes, I did. But now we're talking about a sense of community, and my heart goes out to everybody in Massapequa. This guy lived next door to you for what? 40 years. You've probably seen him every day in your community. Everybody puts their garbage out in time, walks their dog, and no one had any idea that he was responsible for the most heinous act ever has happened in Long Island.
And the place looked run down too.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I was literally gonna mention that for an architect to have like such a rundown kind of house it was
a dump at her.
Yeah, it's strange to me. And you're right, like that's like a suburban town where everyone's out and about. Everyone knows everybody.
A lot of police too.
Yeah, well, Massapequa is a big police town. A lot of people from the city live out over in Massapequa and like the surrounding towns. So for him to be under their nose all this time, which if you followed loosely the investigation, how they got him now is amazing to me, because it's some stuff that you see almost on TV and movies, right?
It's a pizza crust, right?
Yeah. Like they were digging through garbage basically, and they're like, hey, there's a pizza crust, boom. And now he's nabbed, and like then you find DNA from his wife on something. I forget what it was, but
hair, I think.
Yeah, it was hair on something though. I can't remember what, one of the girls' clothes or something like that. But you had that, and he was just a couple of days ago in the news again, like there was another girl missing somewhere that they're attaching onto him. So and now it's not stopping. Now it's almost like every police town that he had a house in or was ever around is like starting to look for missing girls and see if they could tag him and see if he was involved in those kind of crimes in other states. It's wild.
Yeah, it's been like a crazy summer just knowing that that's actually come to like some sort of fruition, that this guy has actually been caught. Mm-hmm. And as a female, I look out to all those girls that unfortunately are no longer with us, and it just seems really sad that they fell off the track that probably would have been the best life path for them. And I don't think justice can ever be served to
that's their
those women.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to say thank God to our, the police force, that they're able to make sure that this guy is going to face the utmost amount of justice that can possibly served at this point. So
right on.
Oh, he will for sure. It's over for that guy.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
So also we were going to talk about myths on Long Island. So I'm not from Long Island, as I've covered already. I have to get used to not repeating myself. Please don't laugh at me. We're not. We're going to talk about myths on Long Island, urban myths. What have you got for me, Wanderer? You could start.
I don't know really. Besides, what do you know of any?
Me? Well, the monster of Montauk, right, is basically an oversized shark, right?
What year was that?
This was a while ago.
Was this like?
I thought it was like a washed up, like a bloated like dog or something like that. A carcass, not living.
No one knows that was terrifying. Like I think that was like almost 20 years ago now.
I all I can remember is it was either last year or the year before. Shark Week did the Montauk Monster, so I would have to almost assume it was like some kind of giant shark. I could be wrong. Normally, when we're on our show in my living room, I have a guy doing that. I don't know what he's doing right now, but
drinking beer.
But as far as myths from Long Island, I don't have a bunch. That's the only one I really remember. There's
come on! Now I'm from Ireland.
Are there other ones?
Yeah, she has a few.
Yeah, like like we gotta go into like Nikola Tesla. Like
what? That's not a myth. He's a person.
Well, he was a person, but I don't know. I'm from Ireland, so we have like folklore and myths and legends and stuff.
Right. Was there another one?
Oh my
yeah,
God!
that's
What?
it.
This is the worst.
That's
the peanut
legit.
gallery over here are laughing at
not a
us.
myth.
By the way,
Yeah,
will you see what
that
you
was-
guys
no,
are going to
that
get?
legitimately happened.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, like,
Amityville, yeah.
you have to believe in ghosts for that to be like a thing, right?
What do you mean believe in
Well,
ghosts?
if you don't believe
They're
in ghosts,
real.
it's gonna be like a myth or like whatever. They're just gonna be like,
I mean, aliens are real, so like, what would really surprise you now?
well, until I see an alien in front of me, I don't believe it.
You
But
want me to
that's
get
just
one
me.
on the horn so we can?
Yeah,
make this happen?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Come to Island Park. I'll show
Right.
you a few.
Yeah, well, I know there's a few animals out there, but listen, do I want to see a ghost for me to believe it? No, I'd rather not mess around with it. That's one of my things. Same thing with aliens. Like, okay, if it's out there, great. Just don't mess with me.
Just
I'm
don't
good.
show up.
Yeah, like I'm good. Like I don't need to see you in the middle of the night and be like, oh, okay, nah, I don't need that. I'm good with that. But until I see
maybe
it,
they have to tell you about your mission.
maybe like I don't know if I want to sign up for a mission. That's just me. Like I'm good doing what I'm doing. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yeah,
Go to the
that's it.
next house.
That's it. 9
You know?
to 5.
So I think there's a really good reason why aliens are never going to show up in Long Island and actually,
It's the Montage
entire-
Monster
No,
or the Go-Go
no.
Beach guy.
It comes down to 2 words. You ready for them?
Sure.
Pumpkin spice.
They're not fans.
They don't like pumpkin spice, but I would like to just, if I have any sort of, influence whatsoever, pumpkin spice should not be available anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere till October 1st. Do you know you can get a pumpkin spice latte in goddamn, I can't say the name of the franchise because they'll be in trouble. But why are we getting pumpkin spice flavored stuff in August? That's my question.
Because they like selling, coffees.
Oh, we were talking about coffees. I thought we were talking about beer.
No,
And beer. And both.
What's going on here?
Anything you could put in it.
nothing
Just-
pumpkin,
just get a
beer,
syringe,
coffee, tea,
put it in
otherwise, till October 1st.
October
It should be a
1st.
law.
I respectfully disagree, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I agree it shouldn't be in
Bold
August.
statement.
But the minute football season starts, there should be pumpkin beer everywhere.
Oh my God.
You should want that. It's a
Okay,
big
so
seller.
So he's talking like second week of September.
Yeah, maybe first week. Like football
it's
starts
second.
like the first week. It's on a Thursday. What is it, the 7th this year or something like that? So yeah, right
would
around
know.
then, like that weekend, the weekend of the 7th. Throw some pumpkin spice to everybody.
I'm going to
know.
make you some pumpkin spice buffalo wings. That's
On
what
the
I'm gonna do
7th
for you.
day,
I'm in.
they
Yeah?
brought in the
I'm in.
spice.
Yeah, 100%. If that's real, yes, I'll take some pumpkin.
No, I made it up.
I'll take some pumpkin wings, 100%.
No, I made it up to punish you for not agreeing with me on my own podcast. That's what he did.
Isn't that why we're here though? Like I
don't
feel like
know.
I got to
don't know.
disagree
I'm
with you on
about to
something.
kick you off, just so you know. So we're going to talk one last question. So what's going on in Lahaina right now? What's your opinion on this? Pugs?
Oh no! You got
Pugs
to start.
Wanderer?
We got to start with this guy first because he might have a different opinion. So let him go
It's
first.
probably different. Yeah, it's the energy weapons that nobody really knows about.
Tell me more.
Right. I was just gonna ask what
They-
follow up.
They burn it up so then they can come in and do what they want with the property.
Oh, so like someone's doing that on purpose to
Are you
buy the
kidding
land.
me? Yeah.
Is this? Well, obviously I can't ask you if it's factual because
But that's what I heard. That's what I
you
heard.
heard that too.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I heard someone messed up and was barbecuing on the beach.
Yeah.
And then it spread.
I'm sure that was
That's
it.
what I heard.
No, I don't think
They were
that's
roasting.
what
They were
happened.
roasting a
legit.
pig, and the pig caught fire, and they freaked out. And instead of putting water on it, they threw gasoline. And I don't understand why, but that's just.
Yes.
They should just stick to eating spam over there. They have nothing else to eat over there. That's it.
In all seriousness, that whole thing is really sad because a lot of people
horrible.
lost their homes and
Disgusting.
lives and
It's
all this stuff,
devastating.
and they're still looking for people out there. So it's really bad. Hopefully they can get enough help over there. Hopefully the president will get over there. I think he was already there last week, but he'll throw some money their way so they could start figuring stuff out.
Did you notice? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just where they're gonna live. Where people they got to start putting these people in some kind of like hotels or whatever, and get these people some money so they can live their lives because basically everything's gone for a lot of these people.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. Like, there seems to be a lot of this happening everywhere. Yeah, it's just not a good time. So if you have anything that you'd like to do, you should probably do it now.
Yeah, for real.
Agreed.
For real. For real. All right. So I guess we've come to the end of our conversation. You can continue listening to Pugs the Wanderer. And am I getting back on your podcast?
Of course. You're always welcome. Yep. There you go.
I hope so, right?
Yep. Always welcome. Right.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a tray, but maybe like 2 or 3 servings
tray.
of it. Yeah, a quarter. We could work with a quarter, right? The 3 of us. I think we'll be able to handle it.
That was awesome having you guys here. I'm so blessed that you're, in each other's lives, let alone podcasting here, Floored Media. And if you want to keep in touch with Wanderer and Pugs, they have a lot to say. Their YouTube channel is called Kings of Opinion. So make sure you tune in and get updates as they come around.
We're also on Instagram. And thank you for having us. This was
You're
really
welcome.
fun.
Yes, Ashley, this was a blast. We had a great time. Thank you for inviting us here.
Very welcome.
This was a totally new experience. I think anyone that does it out of their basement or living room should definitely try something like this, especially at Floored Media. It's really nice here. I wish we could show you the rest.
Media.
Yeah, off you go. No?
Right. All right, we're out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Can I even reach you?
Look at that. We made it.
Yep.